What's good, superstars? Back with another VeVe video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar Andrew Ellis in the building. How's it going, Andrew?
It's going amazing. How are you doing today?
Those punches from Scotland are actually really, really powerful, man. Thank you for coming on the channel. Very greatly appreciated. If you guys don't know, Andrew has his own YouTube channel, Andrew Ellis. Go check it out. He is a VeVe OG. He's been here since April
3rd of April, 2021.
Wow. So he's been in a long time. So this is going to be a good one. We're going to get a lot of thoughts from somebody who's been in the project for over a year now. It's just wild. I like to hear what you guys have to say because you're in it before Disney, before Marvel. I'm interested to hear that story. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit of how you found it. But if you guys are new here, first of all, make sure you go subscribe to Andrew Ellis. Go check out that channel. Great content. If you haven't seen it, it is very detail oriented and it gets you thinking. Every time you watch one of his videos, really intelligent guy. You got to go subscribe. So make sure you subscribe to Superstar Andrew Ellis. And then when you're done that, hit the subscribe button, become a superstar. Great things are happening to superstars every single day. Andrew, you got to hear this one, right?
Yeah.
I go to mow the lawn today. I go grab the lawnmower. I turn around and the lawn is already mowed, automatic. Didn't even have to pull the cord to start the lawnmower. These things are happening to superstars every single day. Hit the subscribe button down below, and you might not have to mow your lawn ever again. That's happening to me.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. Win-win. So if you want some more juju, some extra spice, become a superstar VIP. Hit the join button down below. $2.99 a month. You get a nice badge beside your name. We got some people in the Uncommon Club now. They've held for over a month. We got a bunch of things on there. We're showing our buys and sells. Actually, I'm going to be doing a giveaway right after the little intro here of our Disney mini brands. We're going to be naming an actual, I don't know if you know this, we're naming an actual star in the universe after one of our VIPs. We're going to do a raffle end of the month. We're going to raffle up all the VIPs, and somebody's getting a star certificate on their wall saying that they own a star, or they're named a star is named after them. I like it. How crazy is that, right?
That's awesome.
That's wild. So Superstar VIP has lots of perks. Make sure that you guys are joining that if you want to get some of those. Here's a bunch of our VIPs. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Shout out Superstar Sunday Buckets for joining, I think, since last video. And speaking of which, we have the classifieds. This is another perk of being a Superstar VIP. We will advertise anything that you guys want to buy or sell or that you're looking for. So Sunday Bucket says, thanks for the shout out today, Joe. I'll take the opportunity to say I have the Red Wagon in Walt birthday mint for sale, number 1205, as well as the May the 4th mint Kylo Ren lightsaber 504. Really more of a flex than anything. I think that one may be a long hold. I'd be open to offers over 1K for the Kylo Ren. So if you guys are interested in either of those, leave a comment down below and I will reach out to Sunday Buckets and we'll figure it out. But this is just a perk that you guys can get by joining the VIP. We'll advertise it. Maybe you'll find somebody. Who knows? Other than that, there's our socials: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Fastos on the VeVe app, number 6909. Follow us. We will follow you back. I promise. It might take a couple days, but definitely we'll get back to you. So I have to pull up the giveaway.
Yeah.
I'm going to let Andrew say when, but I'm going to tell you guys what's up for grabs right now. There are 10 mini brands. You get to pick 5. So I've got a Yoda cup. I got a Mickey stove. I've got the Beast. We've got some Minnie Mouse bag, Minnie Mouse phone, Mickey car. We got Tinkerbell. We got a Minnie Mouse lunch bag, and we got 2 Bo Peeps. So you can pick 5 of those if you win this. So Andy, you tell me when, and I'll hit the button.
When?
There it is.
Oh.
Drum roll, please. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Shelton. Oh, Jeff. I think Jeff took a Shelton. You got this close. But Jeff, Superstar Jeff, congratulations. I will contact you. I'm going to leave a comment on the community tab, and I'm going to ask you to message there, and then we will figure out how to get these out to you and which ones you pick. So Shelton, you were this close, but congratulations, Superstar VIP. Jeff, you win the giveaway. We're going to do 5 more, and then we'll do another one. So guys, it's just going to keep coming. The giveaways are just going to keep coming. I got a quick one from VeVe. We talked about this yesterday, how they paused the crypto payout for some technical reasons. Today I was hearing a little bit. I don't know if you heard anything, Andy, but I was hearing a little bit of murmurings that maybe there was some kind of a breach. Have you heard anything on that?
Yeah, I was seeing a little bit more on social media surrounding, like, the accounts that were going to be taking it out, because we were talking about it a little bit more. If you do have a KYC'd account, you don't have to have KYC for MetaMask.
Yeah.
So you could really just, have stolen credit card information, put that onto the KYC'd account, take it out in crypto, and the crypto isn't KYC'd within MetaMask or anything that you're taking it out of. So it's probably quite easy to get your money through that way. And I'm guessing that's why they stopped it, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah. So I think that they'll figure it out. I think it's good that they caught it early. Like KYC
definitely.
hasn't been out that long for everybody. So, but yeah, we're hearing a little bit of murmurings, maybe some kind of a breach, but we don't know for sure. It's not confirmed. VeVe hasn't said anything. I just wanted to bring up what I've been hearing, and I'd love to hear from you guys. If you've heard anything else, leave a comment about that down below. Something else I want to talk about is the drop today, the Tesseract. Yesterday there was all that news, David Yu saying you make sure you hold on to your rocks, hang on to those. How are you playing these? Do you have any of the rocks, Andy?
So I didn't have any of them before. I did buy 2 Tesseracts today. My game plan for this is to wait to see what they do with Spider-Man month. If they do something for Spider-Man month, we've been discussing AF15 a little bit more. Yeah. If they do release that, that's when I'll most likely be buying into those and hold them for the long run. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
So you have a couple and you might get some more. Is that what?
Yeah, my aim is definitely to get some more. VeVe's followed the same hype when it came to airdrops, just like the Jurassic Park, like any other NFT project. The hype goes up, the price goes up all the way until the airdrop snapshot happens. Then they all shoot down. This will most likely be the case if they announce it for this sort of stuff too. I'll probably pick some up to try and sell off at a decent price when the hype starts to build, and then sort of buy back in after if I want to.
And it wasn't a crazy entry. Like they learned from, I think, the Eye of Agamotto, which was 70 gem entry, and a lot of anger from the community. They came in at 30 gems. I was surprised to see it go below retail right off the bat.
Yeah, so was that.
I think it climbed back up.
Yes, I think it's at maybe 32 right now. And the number of additions has went down about 100 in the last 2.5-3 hours. So
someone's scooping them. So if you guys are trying to get in it, they are moving up. But like Andy said, if they do drop AF15, maybe you have another opportunity to get back in. If you want to get some close to retail, maybe that will be at the time to do that. And the other cool thing about this was some people were pointing out yesterday, the Tesseract edition size is 8610.
Yep.
And that is also the same edition size as if you add up the rare and the seeker rare.
Yep.
On the Eye of Agamotto. Now, I don't know if that means anything because people holding the uncommon might be a little bit angry if they go that way. But they are the only two that you can see visually without zooming in. I know in the uncommon, if you zoom in on the eye, you can see that time stone, right? So I'm not sure how they're going to play it. Maybe they're going to have different versions of whatever airdrop they do, kind of like they did for the dinosaurs. And maybe if you hold those full sets of every single thing, you get the best version.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I think that will be the case because they've done that. And again, it was a really good move with the Jurassic World stuff where there probably wasn't enough people to get the common and uncommon. So they just went for the ultra rare and secret rare, which I quite liked. It was an adaptation that they made and it worked out well. So yeah.
Yeah, so you ended up getting which one on Jurassic? You went for
I
that,
got
right?
the ultra rare. Yeah, I just bought all of them like 10 minutes before the snapshot, and then managed to get a sub 1K ultra rare. So I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, especially if you got 3 commons, it was probably cost you like $20, and then you could flip it for like 80 or 70, something like that. So it was a good opportunity. If you guys
did you get any of the Jurassic Park stuff?
I did. I was a big proponent of the dinosaurs, and it wasn't even for the snapshot. Like I was holding them before just because I really I like their AR aspect. I really like how you can take a picture. Like, where can you get, like, for example, I can take a picture of my daughter with a dinosaur behind her head. Where can I do that besides like going to Universal Studios or one of those places or photoshopping it? You know what I mean? And that's another headache. It's so much easier. VeVe makes it so much easier to take that AR shot. I know people, maybe that's not their appeal, but for me, that's one of the big appeals of the app. And the dinosaurs are just so detailed. If you go, you can like stand on the T-Rex behind it and like kind of aim it. It looks like you're riding it. It's just like, that's one of my favorite things on the app. And Rob too. Rob's the same way. We both really like that ultra rare T-Rex. And I say, you know what? I want a whole farm of dinos. So I got them all. I got the blue and beta secret rare.
Nice.
I'm Club 424, and hopefully we can get some utility with that. I know that there's a community push for it. I've seen it on Twitter and all that. So I think why not hold it for a little bit?
Yeah. Have you went and actually saw the new movie?
I didn't see the movie. We weren't able to get that promo code in Canada because we don't have AMC. I don't know if you have it in Scotland. So that dragged me down a little bit, but I seen like the originals. I eventually got to get to it. Like with the newborn and all that, it's really, really tough to have any time to even watch
Of
TV.
course, of course.
But eventually I'll get to it. I just really like I like the whole dinosaur thing. I've been into it since I was a kid. So
Nice.
I think
like it.
I think it's a fun time. So, okay. I think other than that, tomorrow we got Silver Surfer. I'm assuming you're going for that guy.
Yeah, he's so cool. I've always loved the Silver Surfer.
He looks so cool. He looks so cool, like all the muscle definition and all that. So, where is he here? Let's see. I think the additions is 6,100. Not too many.
Yeah, it's not too. I don't know. I don't know how popular the Silver Surfer is. You know, I wasn't a massive fan of Fantastic Four. I understand the comics are quite popular, but the movie itself, you know, the franchise itself, hasn't really peaked at its popularity compared to a lot of the other Marvel stuff. Yeah. I don't really know. What's your thoughts on it?
I think I like that there's the one pose, and I really hope that they start to go towards this way. Like, even if you have a little bit of a higher edition number, I mean, we had 50,000 or something Black Panthers, right? 5 poses like that. It just was overdone. And I think the one big thing that people have against the Spider-Man now, Secret Rare, there's only 1,000 editions, but everybody's argument is you can just get a common and you still have a FA Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was a good call though, because then you get more people involved and more people can show off that they have an FA.
Of course.
And I do think that Secret Rare Spider-Man will separate itself from the pack at the end of the day. But it's just like it has that's the one taint against it, is that there's other options. Same thing with Darth Vader when you compare it to Todd. I don't know. That's the arguments I'm seeing in the community. Yeah. I don't know what you think, but Silver Surfer 6,100 to me, when you compare that to like Black Panther, I know Silver Surfer nowhere close to the IP, but it's like I don't even know 1/10 of the amount there is. So it's crazy.
Are you going for it?
I'm definitely going for it. I think it'll be worth it. I think that one will go above retail. If I was going to give a price prediction, I don't know if it'll initially get to 100, but maybe settle around 90, 95. Just because of what the market's been doing. Like, I think it'll eventually push up. What do you think? How do you think?
I think it will sit close to retail. I don't know why. I don't think it'll be anything that'll be extraordinary. I do not believe it will be above 200 personally.
No.
I think it will be close to the 60 to 120 mark, depending on sort of the edition sizes and what you're purchasing into. Yeah. And as you said, there has been a run up in the marketplace recently. There's been a lot more downloads coming. We saw that from Kelly. We've saw Comic-Con obviously showing off to millions of fans, and also the people within there. You can see like Randy absolutely screaming VeVe's name everywhere to get people to download. So there's definitely a lot of more people getting in, and we've spoken about it before, and I know you've spoken about it too, about the credibility that KYC and all that sort of stuff is going to be adding to VeVe in general. So it's interesting to see the market going this way, but I do see it absolutely crashing like hell if AF15 gets announced.
Everything on this market
everything will be down until that is finalized. So it will be really interesting to see how far it pushes up before or if that announcement happens next month.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw on Putting Cheeks' sheet the last couple of days. That's why I brought up that comment about if there was a breach or not, because there's something interesting. Let me pull it up. Just give me 2 seconds here. But his numbers are kind of funny. There's a couple days here where the numbers are kind of funny, and I can't really think of anything that would have caused the 1 million and 1.4 million, and then from there you drop 1 million gem purchases to 300,000. So that's why I'm thinking, and this is kind of around the time when they shut down the crypto, right?
It's actually it's a good thing. I think the last time as well, I don't know if you remember the last time something like this
8
happened.
million, right?
Yeah. There was a massive spike up, and although it caused a nice wee thing in the community, it was quite clear that it was definitely
so that's even worse. 8 million to 300,000.
But as you said, it's good that they catch it early rather than allowing it to go on for months on end. And they've shut it down and hopefully are able to get it back up. So those numbers are looking more sort of realistic when it comes to 209,000 for the days and that sort of stuff. But it's an interesting thing for sure.
Yeah, the other thing that we don't know is how much people are cashing out. There's no way to track it according to Pudding Cheek. So these numbers of gems in app is very off. Like you can't know that number. So we got to focus more on gem purchases at this point, just to kind of see how much money is being put into the app. I think that after KYC has been around for a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, then the people who really wanted to get out probably found a way to get out. Then you'll kind of find your equilibrium. So when people are asking, like, I got a comment today on Twitter, what do you think is going to happen? They took a screenshot of this showing the numbers going from 1.4 to 300. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the market. I have no idea. I don't know how much money is being taken out of the app. You just got to right now. You got to be watching market trends. Like Andy said, you've seen over the last couple of days the market move up a little bit, but it hasn't done anything crazy.
Yeah.
I want to see KYC and MTL kind of have some time here, and then maybe make a call on it based off of what we see. And now we don't know what this is about. So is this legit money? Is it not?
Yeah.
If it is, then that's great news. And like you said, I think Kelly did the number of wallets, which was like 5,000, 7,000 or something like that the last couple of days. I'm sure today will be even bigger number because it's a Saturday at the Comic-Con. So that's good news. And the other thing, and you kind of hinted at it, is that this stuff is going to take some time for people to realize, like even new people coming into the app, they might not drop their money the first day, the second day, the third day. It might take a week or 2 or 3 for them to learn the app. Like, oh, that's cool. And then they get addicted, and the addiction grows, right? So that's what you want.
It takes time to really bring someone in.
I think they've done a good job with the numbers of the additions for some of these items at the Comic-Con drop, meaning that like if you go for it, more than likely you might be able to land one of them. And that's the feeling you want these new users to have, where you have a chance to win, right?
Exactly. I mean, there was times in, I don't know, when was it from? Maybe just after Disney to mid-February, March, where I was lucky to even get one drop, you know. So there's people coming in here for the first time that hadn't been a part of VeVe for as long as I had, and they didn't get a drop for 40 consecutive drops. And that must turn you off. Surely the number of users that just left after that was like insane amounts because of it.
I'm sure they haven't even realized this new little, like, they don't even know there's MTL probably somewhere.
Yeah, they won't even care anymore. They would have just gone and they've been out their mind now.
So it's very important that VeVe kind of has a look at their mint numbers, I think. Not that everybody has to get one, but like that it's not 1 in every 5 months that you land. And I think that's why they were coming out with that queue system, right? So you have that opportunity. Okay, so why don't you let the people know a little bit about you, how you found VeVe, and when you came, you said April. What was your first drop? Maybe that type of thing, so people understand how early you were. And then I'll give you a couple questions, and then we'll go from there.
Of course. Well, actually, originally came from my friend telling me about them. Now, some of the OGs within the community will know this person, Niall Ballantyne, who used to make VeVe YouTube videos discussing maybe like the OMI token, the VeVe app itself, how it was going to grow and all that sort of stuff. He no longer creates videos on that, but he was someone who actually got me into it. He told me about it. He told me what they were working towards. You know, he told me some of the licenses they've got. And the main one at the time was DC. And I'm a really, really big fan of Batman. So when I heard that, you know, I wanted to do a bit more research. I was a little bit hesitant at the start. And then eventually I decided to just go in. So my first drop was the 2D Ultraman posters. The first ones that were released, managed to get an uncommon, I think. And I kept that for months. And months. And after that, you know, everything just sort of became addicting there. Obviously this was the height of COVID as well. So I was in my garage doing my workouts, and between each set, I was bidding on auctions and all that sort of stuff. I was spending far too much time in my life on this app, and it still led me to this point today, you know, way over a year and a half later, where I'm still on it every single day and have it ready to go.
Yeah, I know, that's good. And it's good that like that's for you guys to know when you go subscribe to him after this video, because he's been here a while and he's addicted, just like you mentioned. So he knows the ins and outs of the app, and that's great. So you mentioned your friend got you into it. Do you know how he found it? Is he just into crypto and he found it through OMI?
I think he might have saw it from a YouTube video, because was it Andre Jick who had talked about it, you know, a real while back, about what it was. And then I think he done a little bit more research and dug into it and saw sort of the team. And then Alfred Kahn was obviously a partner at that point, you know, where he was working alongside him. And I think that probably triggered a little bit of this could be something. You know, you don't usually get someone on that caliber working at your team, especially with everything that he's been able to do with his career.
So no, that's pretty cool. I mean, and you're a young guy, like we were talking earlier. You're in school. I don't know if you're done or you're still
one more year.
One more year.
Yeah,
and for you to recognize this project and recognize what is going on here and what the potential is at that young of an age, like that's honestly amazing. So like, congrats, dude, for getting in so early.
Thank you.
I'm sure you have a great collection. I want to ask you now, and I guess this is basically the meat and potatoes of the video. Is we now have MTL. We talked about it a little bit, the KYC for everybody. I want to know if there's different thinking amongst the OGs or people who were in like early last year compared to people who came in around Disney Golden Moments time. Because people around Disney Golden Moments from November, yeah, you're up a little bit, but maybe nothing crazy, nothing life-changing. But there's people who got in before that who realized another dip in the summer I know of. But they realized a lot more gain. People were able to buy some of these early grails like Todd's and Marvel Comics 1 in the store. So I want to know from your opinion, people who maybe got in early like you, who were in before the comics even came to the app, what do you think that the thinking is for an OG? Would they, when they got the MTL news, do you think that it was people stacked up with Todd's? Now, like I have 10 Todd's, maybe I'm going to sell off 5. Like, do you think there's more of that with the OGs who have ample amounts of these things? And do you think that will affect the market and kind of give it a little bit of a dip on certain items? Or do you think that most OGs are going to hold these things even longer? Like, what do you think? I know people have been in a long time. It's a long time to hold for a year and a half.
Yeah, definitely. The thing I've found, obviously, you're going to have 2 different areas. You're going to have some of the OGs who have just completely left now. You know, they wanted to sell everything once MTL was there. They stopped believing in the company. I totally understand that. The differences that I see, especially when it comes to the community and the comments that I get and all that, is that the OGs who continue to be active, you know, the likes of Chad and people around him, they are still accumulating because they truly believe in the full long-term process that VeVe are trying to do. It seems to be the case that they have been able to look at it from a wider perspective, that the NFT space is most likely going to completely crash and burn, but there will be builders out of that who will, you know, change the way that we use and utilize collectibles and digital premium collectibles and all that sort of stuff. So for me, I consistently see people who have been in here since I've been in here, and even well before me, that they are still accumulating and they're still believing in the long-term vision of the company. And people who got in at Disney Golden Moments and in the January pump, they're more, not all the time, but a lot of them are a lot short-term thinking. You know, they believe that everything has to be the profit from each drop. If they don't get something that's a good edition, you know, they're absolutely cutting everything out and they're selling it for half the price that they've got it for. And it seems to be that short-term thinking rather than the long-term thinking. Now, I don't know if that's because they got in when it was all-time highs and everyone was speaking about it, because we know that, you know, 97, 98% of the people got into NFTs because of the money. People weren't really into it for the art, but because we've got digital collectibles from the biggest brands in the world, you know, there's a little bit of a shift there where you're sort of collecting something that you may have grown up with instead of just a 10K PFP project. And that's where I see the biggest difference when it comes to the OG thinkers and the recent people who are coming into the app. It is more of that short-term thinking. What has to happen next for things to pump? Whereas the others are thinking, okay, what has to happen in 5 years for this company to remain successful and to continuously bring in whatever they're aiming for, whether that be mass adoption, completely like using the OUP to their advantage, MCP to create gamification, Marvel Mighties, that sort of stuff. It's really more the long-term thinking. And the question when you were relating to the marketplace and how you felt that might go, I'm not 100% sure how to answer that in the best way possible, because I do think there will be some things that will change in price due to some OGs having insane amounts of one collectible. You know, if we look at the partner statue and we look at Todd, and if we were able to see the unique percentage ownership, Todd would be a lot lower. Purely because, you know, there's some people who have 100, 200 of the Todds that were able to buy in the marketplace, whereas Walt, when he sold out, he started at maybe 2K and quickly rose up to 10K in the next few days. So the percentage ownership in that is going to be a lot more unique. I think some of them may drive down over the long run as people try to sell off like their real multiples if they have something that's insane. But other than that, I don't think there's going to be massive dips purely due to someone trying to sell them all off at the one time and just driving down the price in the market, if that makes sense.
No, I agree. I actually, you kind of made me think of it a little bit of a different way. I really appreciate the different mindsets that you brought up about new collectors and maybe the OG collectors. Now you got to think about it. People who were in this a year and a half ago, they didn't have cash out or whatever, but they were in it, like you said, maybe for the art or maybe for the IP and the long-term vision. So I think that in my mind now, maybe there's a lot less people who are willing to sell off their multiples now, and they actually want to watch the project flourish because they've been here that long. They got in early because they were doing some serious research on long-term potential. And people who came in Golden Moments week or late last year, they realized that gain very quickly. They didn't see the winter of VeVe in the summer, and they just saw it go up like crazy, and they're expecting that. So either you left the app because you're like, this is garbage. How's it go up? It's a pump and dump, everybody. Or you're just waiting and you're getting frustrated because you didn't make the money you made in a month. So those might be the people who are selling, the people who came in more recently than actually the OGs.
Yeah, no, I would say so. And you're right. The summer was quite brutal. There's a story I always tell, and it was, so I'd only put £300 into VeVe when I first started. I didn't have a lot of money to put into anything. So £300 was what I was going to put in. Of course, CASHOUT wasn't there. So I couldn't take my money out no matter what I put into that, unless I went through maybe Esco, and I didn't know about that at the time. So I traded my way up to everything. Everything was trading with me doing that, and I was able to get to where I was at. So now I put a little bit more in the later months. I'm probably still under £1,000 total of what I've put in. But for the longest time, I only had that £300 to trade with, and that was everything I do. And I worked my way up to a Superman. Now at the time, Superman was going for 600 gems, right? So that was insane to me. I spent basically all my gems on the Superman, as at the time, you know, he's really rising up. There was a lot of hype around it. I know Ray Fixie was one of the ones who was really hyping it up, and he had quite a powerful say within the community at that time. Superman dropped for the next 4 months, all the way down to, I think it was 150 or something like that. And he stayed there for a long time. I never sold the Superman. I still have the Superman today, but I think if someone stuck it out all through that time, they will have a different mindset to someone who got in January and saw a massive rise up in everything, and then a massive decline in everything over the next, what was it, 5 months before we saw any kind of uptrend again. So yeah, I see there being quite a big difference in that.
I think you nailed it. The people who've been in here that long have already sat through one of these dips, saw it go up after the dip, so they know that it's potential that it can go up again. And if you're sitting on these bags, why would you look at selling now unless you've lost faith in the project? And there are going to be a couple of those people who maybe have lost faith. Maybe they don't like the way the teams acted or the timelines. And I know there's a lot of people in the comments that get a little frustrated sometimes. But I think that part will get out of our systems maybe in the near term. And I think the true holders and the people who sat through that, like you said, you didn't sell your Superman. You could have sold it. And made the gems when it went out. You didn't do that. You have a long-term vision. And I think there's a lot of people like you in the community that are going to wait for the next pump while we have MTL, which is going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy. I can't wait for that to happen. But no, thank you. Thanks again for bringing up that point of the mindset of the new collector versus the old collector. Because honestly, I was like, everybody who from previous is going to just be like, I got 200 Todds. I'm going to sell 100 of them, take my cash. But why? Why sell it at the bottom? It doesn't make any sense. But
I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on the differences that you see yourself from a longer term, someone who has been in here since maybe 2020 and someone who's came in maybe January or later. Do you have your opinions on that?
I think I'm with you. Well, people who came in January are probably like really, really off put. I'd be surprised if there's a lot of people remaining who came in January and saw their money. No, it's like if you went into any crypto stock or whatever, and then it went straight down. Right? But for people who came maybe late last year, I think there's a bunch of those people still in here. And the community, it's a small community. I think most of us have probably the same viewers on all of our channels that watch it, and they're dedicated, and they want, like, the people who are still here are the people who are doing some serious research and still investing because they believe long term. As far as how we invest, we got in November, so we did get in Golden Moments week, and it was, I think, maybe Andre's second video that pointed us to it, and we didn't put a penny in until we saw Disney's tweet. So we saw Disney tweet about the Golden Moments week and how they were giving away the Disney Plus, and said, you know what, that's legit now. It's on their Twitter. They're not going to rug me. I felt like, I'm like, there's no way these guys are going to rug me. So we played the game. I bought in on Golden Moments week. I got a couple of drops, and then you were playing the drops because every drop was profitable. You couldn't lose. so what I would do is I would keep the IP that I like, and if I won, like I got a couple of drops on like Decon Week. I'm not really a fan of the artist work. Didn't think it had as much long-term potential, so I would sell it off for a little bit of gems, use that, keep going. And yeah, I didn't have to put gems in for a long time until like obviously we started getting that downtrend in the new year. But there was also a time around March where we were starting to look at data, and we said because we don't have too many grails. Like now I've built up a collection of low mint comics or whatever, but I wasn't too attached to many things. Like the only thing that I have that's from my original days is my R2D2 that I got on drop, and I'm keeping it just because I don't know in the future how it's going to be, if metadata is going to be important where they see if you got it on drop. So that's my one piece that I'm keeping. I'm not going to sell it. It's like a 700 something mint. So I got lucky on the drop. Good but the way that we play the game is we'll look at like I showed you putting cheeks the sheet a little earlier. Yeah. To see the money coming in, money going out, and we kind of called near the top in March, and I sold everything except for my R2D2. Yeah, I sold everything, and we made a video, sell everything, all your stuff's going to zero, blah blah blah. And it was never a hit at VeVe. It was never a hit at the project. It was an analysis of the marketplace, and I'm sure you saw similar things. I know you're an analytical guy as well. So we thought it's the time to collect the gems. We weren't selling our gems off app. We never got rid of our gems. We held them because we knew that there would be better opportunity, and we're watching the trend lines. And if the trend line's going straight down, if I sell now and there's no end in sight, I'm going to be better off. And I think I ended up selling my Superman like 1,500 gems or something like that. Nice. And whatever, it's like 400 or 500 gems in the bag now, right? That was one of the bigger items that I sold off, and there's a bunch of other things. But I change my strategy all the time. It's just when we do see that uptrend, that's when we feel like maybe it's time to bring in a little bit more money from our pockets. Okay. And the other thing with that is we might miss the wave. We might miss a Walt. We might miss Todd because it can move quickly. We saw how quickly it moved on that last whale pump. Oh, yes. But the thing with that for us is there's always going to be that next thing. Like these guys are always going to bring something else that you're going to want. And if you have gems in your pocket, you're always going to have like having gems in the pocket to go for certain things like AF15. People are stacking gems right now, but it's tough to get thousands of gems. You know what I mean? So when Darth Vader came, that was my play. I had like, I think 5,000 gems or something stacked up in my pocket because I sold everything, and I was able to land right off the drop. I hit a 300, I didn't hit it on the drop. I got it in the secondary, a 300 mint for like 1,500 gems. And I flipped it within 3 minutes for 2,800. So it was like the biggest flip I've ever done. And I wouldn't have been able to do that had I had no gems, because I would have had to load gems. By the time I did that, the market would have settled itself. Right. So it's not to say that like we're flippers, because we're not. Like long term, we believe in the project, and anything now after I've sold that I've been picking up has been low mint, like big IP, because I feel like long term, when we do get the numbers, we kind of create our own scarcity. And also, if you do want to move into something else and you do need gems, putting up a 3-digit at the floor, it's selling instantly. You don't have to wait. It's gonna, especially big IP, Disney, Pixar. You know what I mean? It's gone. So that's kind of our strategy. I do think though that you're right, that people who came in November, December, they realized those gains very quickly, and they are more of a flipper mindset, or maybe they're more. I don't think everybody. I think there's a lot of people long-term investors, but I think that there's a big portion of those people who have the flipper mentality, just because that's what it was when they came in. You came in, you want to drop, you flipped it for more gems. That's how it was. That was that. But for you, or people who came in around your time, you guys had to wait a little bit. You said Superman went from 600 to 150. Yeah. Right? You hung it out. You know what its potential is. You know the long-term what's going to happen here. I think we all do. I think that's why we make videos every single day. It's cool to hear a different perspective, and I love hearing from people who come in at different times. So like you were in April. I think Chad was in like February. March. He was early. We talked to him. We've talked to other people around our time, and it's all over the place, and everybody's in it for a different reason, and people have different strategies. It's awesome. And the one thing is everybody's addicted who's in this app, right? So, that's the one thing we all have in common. Doesn't matter. We're all addicted. While you're working out, you're in the auction place, right? So I don't know. I think it's a good talk. I think it's a good chat, and I think you changed my mind on how I feel the OGs are playing this, because I thought OGs are like, okay, payout, sell half my stuff because I've been waiting a year and a half. But I think you're right. I think right now you're in a lull. You've already held through the lull. Why sell your shop if you don't have to? Maybe for gems to get into other things, but
yeah,
why sell it for cash at this point unless you
exactly.
need it?
Exactly. One of the things I was thinking of, was if these OGs have been in here for so long, they've obviously saw the progression of the company, what they're trying to do and what they're trying to make. We are moving into a very bear market. We have been in it for a little bit, and I believe we're going to be going into a recession in the next few years. So a lot of these companies that are doing cryptocurrency, NFT projects are now being caught up by the law. And we've seen that quite a lot as of recently. A lot of these companies are either being shut down. Minecraft's announcement of no NFTs, we hate them, has completely trumped. I think is it RKFT who were doing, it was like NFT Worlds or something, and that was linked to Minecraft. There was a bunch of other projects who have done the same, who are going to have to completely shift their perspective. And with the cryptocurrency, a lot of the companies now are being completely shut down because they're not abiding by the law, whereas Omi is still being able to push forward because they've made sure to take longer to do what they're wanting to do. Now, I understand Omi, VeVe, ecomi as a company have a lot of improvements they need to make. I think we can all agree on that, and there's nothing wrong with that because every single company has their faults. But for me, I'm seeing that if we are looking at the longer term play, this has been the company that continues to move forward when everyone else needs to halt. And I always love the tweet that ecomi put out was, we built our foundations in a bear market. We're not afraid of this bear market that's coming now too. And that just always gives me more confidence in just what they're doing, what they're pushing forward with. Teams are so important in who you're surrounding it by. We, of course, have to abide by the law. So for me, I think, yes, of course, I think some of these OGs will take their money out that they've put in, that they've invested in from the beginning. I took my investments out and a little bit more to put into Omi. But I don't know, if we're thinking 5 and 10 years of what this could potentially be, is VeVe, when it comes to the biggest brands in the world, not at the forefront of that? Are they not going to be one of at least the players who are going to try to challenge the top of that? For me, I think that's going to be the case, but I could be wrong.
I think the telltale sign is that you can't talk to people in the streets about it yet. Like they don't know what VeVe is. Like they don't even know what 3D AR NFTs are. And you talk to 99% of the people out there, you talk to them, what's an NFT? It's a JPEG that you put as your profile picture.
Yep.
That's what I mean. So the fact that the education isn't there yet, that's how you know you're early. So basically everybody here in the space right now is OG. As far as I'm concerned, because if you go talk to anybody, they're not going to know what the heck you're talking about. You show people, they're like, oh, that's cool. They think it's a little app or a little game or whatever, but they don't understand the ownership. They don't understand the basics until mainstream media and that is pushing it. And you're seeing utility where people are like, oh, you own these shoes and now you can go to this game because you have these shoes and you can meet the players and they can sign your virtual, like that's when things are going to blow up. And I really like the one thing that VeVe said like a couple of months ago, where they said, we're not ready for the marketing yet. They want to have everything in place. They're taking their time. They're doing it right. I know it frustrates a lot of people that it's taken so long and that maybe promises were made that weren't delivered on. But at this point in time, you got to see that they still are moving the needle. It's still moving in that direction. Even if it's going slower than you thought, it's still going that way. You got MTL. Everybody said it wasn't coming. You got KYC. So bot problems are starting to get fixed. We got the web app now. Everything they've been delivering, and Dan said that in the last community update. They've been delivering. It's definitely true, especially the last couple months. And when MCP comes, I think that might be the end of the bots, or it might help to destroy them. And then there's the sky's the limit, and they can just be as creative as they want with what they got here. They got all the IP in the world. You go to the Comic-Cons, you show off your name, and then maybe they do some other stuff on TV or through YouTube with other influencers, not us, but like millions of subscribers. You know what I mean? Like you mentioned, Audrey Jick, maybe Logan Paul. These guys start to get involved. Maybe they're already involved and they're not allowed to talk. Who knows? But when that's when you start to get more mainstream, and that's when this thing's going to be skyrocketing to the heavens, right? So,
you're totally right.
Yeah. No, I'm amped, and it's cool talking to you. So anyway, I think that's it. You got anything else to add? You want to talk about anything else, or?
Honestly, I think we've absolutely smashed it. I had an absolute blast chatting with you and getting to understand your thought process a little bit more.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get you on another time with Rob in the house, and
for sure
we can both beat him up. And we'll have another talk for sure. But the community's small. It's nice to meet other creators and
it's
hear their
amazing.
thoughts. And like I said, you changed my mind on how the OGs are going to be playing the MTL, and that's why I wanted to have this talk. I wanted to talk with you because you've been in early, and I thought maybe you would know a little bit better from that type of perspective. So I think I was right, and we did a good job here. So appreciate you coming on. If you guys aren't already, make sure you subscribe to Andrew Ellis. I'm going to have his channel
and subscribe down here.
Links below. Trust me, I'm going to plug that very soon. We got to open up a Disney mini brand. This is going to go for the next giveaway, and we've seen this one before, but it's already been selected twice. We got a little Captain America.
Nice.
So that's going into the next draw. We're doing a big here on Superstar Money. I can't wait to name a star after somebody. Trust me, that's going to be the time.
Okay.
When people realize. But anyways, guys, thank you again, Andrew, for joining us. And if you haven't, become a superstar. Hit the subscribe button down below. And great things are happening to superstars every single day. You can join the VIP, all that jazz. You have chances to win all these types of prizes and fun stuff. And again, go subscribe to Andrew Ellis. It's going to be like first thing in the description. All right, guys. And we love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.